Yarnie friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to Coffee and Crochet with Sara. Now this is our live video podcast. We do this every Tuesday unless I'm out of town or sick or something, but we try to do it every Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. And it's Central Time because I am located outside Oklahoma City. We're in a suburb called Yukon. It's really fun because I live in Yukon in the Canadian county. It's kind of fun. I really love living here. It's been a change. We've been here almost 3 years. And if you did the walk through my yarn room, you know I have a considerably smaller yarn room. But from what I had in Colorado anyway. But I'm fine with it. It's very cozy. It fits everything. Yeah, I have to store a few more things out in my tubs, but that's okay. I try to use mostly clear ones. That way I could see what's in it. I think if I didn't, it would be forgotten. But anyway, welcome. What is everybody drinking today? I've got some good old-fashioned Aldi regular coffee, and I've got the new Aldi sugar-free, I think it's called Sweet Cream Creamer. It's become one of my new favorites, and I really like it. And I've got it in this mug so I can get a nice big mug of it. It's super cold today. Well, actually, it's not as cold today as it has been. But let's clinkety, clink, clink, clinkin'. I already had 1.5 cups, and that's probably another 1.5 right there. Alrighty, well, we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to have another Yarnie good time. The only thing is, I didn't get a chance to look up some good jokes because I was fiddling with my iPad trying to get, I was having a hard time getting it to see my pictures. And we had an update on my iPad had an update on their iPads. Did I say that right? Anywho, when I did the update it changes it changed some settings. I couldn't get it to see the pictures on my iPad so that I could, put them on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. I really like taking pictures with my iPad because you get a nice big screen and you can really see what's going on. I used to use my Nikon camera all the time, but I really haven't in the recent years just because it's just so much easier. And the camera lens on my iPad is amazing. So a lot of people use their phones. I don't use a phone for filming or for taking photos or video tutorial because I just can't see it. And I need to be able to see it. Anywho. So, I don't have any jokes for you, but I do have one thing that I thought of while I was sitting here. Have you seen that meme that says, the doctor says I need to get more fiber, so I'm going yarn shopping? Well, we've been snowed in. I can't go yarn shopping. I did. Remember last week I talked about getting my blood work? Well, I did go on, I think Thursday, or was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. I went and got my blood work done. No problems. It was so interesting because when they called my name back, there were 2 people in the room. And I'm like, that's interesting. And so I asked the one girl, because they were both in, like lab coats. I said, are you training? She said, yes, you're my first. And I said, oh. And so I just told her, it's okay. I am a big baby, but don't worry about it, And she did a really good job. She was a little bit shaky, a little bit nervous. But she did a really good job and didn't hurt at all. And so I told her that. I told her, you did a good job. You're going to do just fine. And she was like, oh, okay. But when she first started putting the needle in my arm, because they have to take out 3 things of blood, she was shaking a little bit. So I said, hon, just take a deep breath. I said, it's okay. Take your time. You're not in a hurry. Because there really weren't that many people out there waiting anyway, because I had an appointment early in the morning. And so she did. She's like, I said, there you go. Now try again. And she did just fine. She was just nervous because I was her first one. And of course, I'm a big baby when it comes to needles, but she did a great job. So, and I told her so. But then I had supposed to have my doctor's appointment to talk about my blood work yesterday. But of course, with the snow and everything, when they called, they said, you probably could get in, but our doctor cannot. So I wouldn't do any good to get there. I guess he lives out a ways because, well, one of the things that's happening is, it's melting and then overnight it's turning to ice. And so it was pretty icy this morning as well. Anyway, so I'll go again on Thursday and he can tell me how my blood work. I'm pretty sure I know. So but anyway, that's not such a bad deal. Okay, so I thought it was a lot colder today when I poked my head out the door, but according to this, it's 22 degrees, and the last couple of days it's been like single digits, and overnight. Oh my word! I am so thankful I don't have to go out at night and let a dog out. And I know that sounds rude, but I don't think Rosie would have went out there if she was still with us. Anyway, I probably would have been cleaning up a mess. It was cold and windy. It is super windy today. All right, well, let's just jump right into it. The next thing I want to do is I want to give you a shout out. I found this lady. I found her YouTube channel just by mistake. I was clicking on somebody else's and hers came up also. And because, they kind of give you a list sometimes. And I was like, she looks interesting. So I went to her YouTube channel. I'm like, she is so much fun. And, I love a YouTube channel that is fun. Yes, we got all the weather. We had a lot of snow, and especially for Oklahoma. And in this Oklahoma City area, we got a lot of snow. Schools were closed yesterday and today, and we didn't go to church on Sunday. The roads weren't plowed or anything yet. So, and Oklahoma doesn't have as many plows as like the northern states, But it's been cold, but we didn't lose electricity. And even if we did, we have a generator. So anyway, I saw your question, so I thought I'd get back to it real quick. All right, back to Crafty Sue's channel. I don't know if you've ever met her, seen her channel, but she is so much fun. This is what she says. I have been crafting for over 50 years. On this channel, I will show you my love for crochet and card making. I am so happy I have these hobbies to keep me busy. I would love you to join me on my crafty adventures. So click the subscribe button and ring that bell. Okay, so her link is down underneath this video like I always do when I do a shout out, okay? And so her name is Crafty Sue YouTube channel. She does crochet, but she does other crafts as well. And I think that's super cool. And I think you'll really like her. She's just fun and down to earth and kind of silly like me. So I really liked her. So go show her some crochet love and tell her I sent you, okay? And again, that link is underneath this video down in that description box. All right, now the next thing I want to do is I want to show you my yarn of the week. It's not really yarn, they are yarn kits. So I went to Aldi, not Aldi, Aldi, A-L-D-I, to do some last minute shopping before the storm hit, and it was packed. But anyway, actually it was a week before that when I found these. Yeah, I've had these for about a week. But anyway, I went to Aldi, and they have that aisle down the center. They call it the aisle of shame, because it's all kind of fun, knick-knacky things, and just fun things to buy. And lately they've been having some craft kits, and I hadn't seen any that really caught my eye, but these did. And this one is a puppy, and it's a plush puppy, and it has everything in there, the needle, the crochet hook, the yarn, even the stuffing, and the embroidery floss for the face. And these are only $4.99, okay? But I'm going to show you what's in them, just so you get an idea. If you have an Aldi, you're going to want to go there and get these, okay? So I have another one here. This is the turtle, and I couldn't resist this one. Now, they had about 5 or 6 different animals. I cannot remember. I think there was a bear and a bee, and I think a cat. I can't remember. All right, so you get a complete book, more like a pamphlet, that has everything in it, and they have it in English and in Spanish, and you get a few pictures, and it is written in what I call abbreviated form. And so if you have trouble reading a pattern, this might cause you a little trouble, but I read through it and I understood all of it. To me, it made sense. But if you're not used to this, this is the way patterns used to be written. They aren't written like they are now. And so this is what I would call the Chinese form, And some of them I mean, it's really, really just clear. And these are considered beginner patterns, okay? And then you have lots of diagrams here with pictures to show you what the stitches are. So these are great if you've never learned the basic stitches or you want to give it to somebody who's just learning. This is a really great thing to give them, okay? So there's all your information. All right, then you get in this little packet, you get a plastic crochet hook, and it is pretty sturdy, okay? I don't know what size it is, but to me, by grabbing, let's see, here it is. Here's my H hook. It looks like it's about an H hook, but it doesn't tell you what size it is. And you measure it by where the shank is right here. That's where you measure your size for your hooks. All right, so it looks kind of like an H hook. And then you get a plastic needle. And it's a little bendy, but all you need it really for is to put the face on and, of course, to weave in your ends. And that's fine. And then you get all the stuff. Okay, so you're getting the main green color, a lighter color for the belly. Here's a little bit of pink for the cheeks. Here's a dark green, and this is for the back of it, and I don't think it showed it on here. Let me look in here. You're going to put on the little turtle shell in the back, right here. Okay, that's what the darker green is for. And then you have this. This looks like a medium weight number 4 that you use to sew on the face. This is probably a 5. It doesn't feel thick enough to be a 6. So this is probably a 5 weight, your basic Chanel yarn. It looks good quality. I gave it a little bit of a tug, and it looks pretty good quality. I do not know the brand of it, of course, because they don't give you that. And then this bag here is your stuffing. They give you a bag of stuffing. So you have everything that you need. Now, if you wanted to use safety eyes instead of embroidery, that's fine. I think a lot of these kits, because they're beginner, they just do a quick little embroidery face. And also, remember, if you're going to give this to a kid, you don't want to give them one that has the safety eyes, because the little toddlers and stuff, they'll pull those safety eyes right out. Okay? And so you get everything that you need. It may not be a metal hook or a metal needle, but it is what you need. And it makes a great little gift for a beginner because you get everything that you could need. All right, I think the turtle one is adorable. That's the back. Here's the front. And then I picked up a puppy one also. I thought I could make them in a couple of colors. This would be cute done in purples and pinks, wouldn't it? But anyway, I thought they were a really good bargain. And they were $4.99. I'm almost positive, but it might have been $5.99. But in comparison to some of the other crochet kits that are out there for these little plushies, Jeramies, I never say them right. These are pretty inexpensive. One thing is, I don't know if you have an Aldi near you, but the stuff down that aisle, that they call that aisle of shame, it goes fast. And anytime they get it in, they don't get very many. And these had already been picked over, so there may have been more than what I saw. But I did see in the ad, they're supposed to be bringing out some that are Valentine-ish. So I'll be looking down that aisle for those. I think I saw some plushy hearts. And I want, maybe that was where I saw the bee. I'm not sure. But I just thought they were really cool little kits. Great little thing to use, especially if you want to give it to someone that's just learning. And if you're going to give it to someone that's just learning, get 2 of the same and do it along with them. And that'd be a lot of help to them, especially if you're right there with them. Wouldn't it be great for like Crochet Club? Everybody make one, and then you can take them to the school and give them out or something. Or even to, a daycare center or something, give them out. I just think that would be a lot of fun. You know what else is a lot of fun is if you give them to assisted living places. They like those sort of things. It'd cheer them up too. All right, so that's that. Now, I did do something. I posted about it yesterday. Was it yesterday or Sunday? I can't remember. Anyway, I put together a playlist for Valentine and Heart crochet patterns. And the reason I did that is because I got a couple of emails and a couple of messages that said, I was looking through your playlist. I didn't see anything for Valentine's Day. Do you have anything? Or I didn't see anything with hearts. Do you have anything? And I do have a lot of patterns that are hearts and Valentine's Day, but I didn't have them all together in a playlist. And so I put them all in a playlist, and I made a little cover for it, and our picture, I should say. And I posted it on YouTube. I posted it in our Coffee and Crochet with Sara Facebook group. I posted it on my page, and I think I posted it on X, in Twitter. Use Twitter X is what I always call it. But anyway, if you want to see what's in that playlist, if you go, remember I told you if you go in that little circle that has my face on it, if you just tap that little circle, it'll take you to my main YouTube channel page, and then there'll be some tabs across, and they say things like videos, live videos, playlist. You can click that tab that says playlist, and it'll take you, all my playlists will come down and you can find it. And I put it first so that you could find it, since we're heading into Valentine's Day. And so I want you to be able to make some Valentine things, because Valentine's Day is a fun day, but a lot of times people don't like it because they think it's just for couples, and it's not. I always say go to the dog rescue and pick you up a new Valentine. Anyone who you love in your life is your Valentine. My grandkids are my Valentines. My husband, yes, but also my sister, because these are the people that I love. And there's a lot of people in my life growing up, or people that I just adore, that helped me get through life, and things like that are just friends forever. I mentioned this in a video that I'm posting tomorrow, but there's a lady in our church back in where I went to church in Tulsa. Her husband passed away. And so she decided it took a while for this to happen, but she decided she was going to start having what she calls Galentine's Day parties around Valentine's Day. And she invites all of her single friends that either are divorced or their husbands have passed. And it's just for the ladies, because it's gals. And or friends, someone who's never been married or never had a spouse or anything. And they have these fun parties, and I'm always jealous when she talks about them, because I would love to go sometime, because they do games and they do crafts and they do food, and she does lots of decorations. But anyway, don't feel down. There are lots of ways that you can be happy on Valentine's Day. It's just a holiday. It's not like you have to celebrate, okay? But if you want to, have fun. I love Valentine's Day. I think it's fun because I like hearts. And hearts are not just for Valentine's Day. You can wear hearts any time of year. Well, I can't host the party, Kim, because she lives in Tulsa, and I live in Oklahoma City, outside Yukon, and it would just be too far for a lot of these ladies to come to my house, because some of them are quite elderly, although there's some young ones too. And that's another neat thing about this particular thing that she does, is there's no age limit. There's ladies that have never been married that are in their early 20s all the way up to, 85-year-old women. So I would love to. I know at my church here, we have a lady that does do a lot of things. They go do activities and stuff also, but I've never heard them have a Galentine party. Maybe I should talk to her about it. That would just be so fun. And you could even do it even if you were married. It'd just be fun to get together with your gal pals and go eat and chat and crochet. It'd just be fun. Don't let it get you down. All right. And so anyway, what I was going to say is tomorrow's video is all about that particular subject of Valentine's Day and my playlist and patterns and things like that. It's just kind of a fun video. I wanted to do it, because they talked to me about it. They asked me, and I try. My goal here is to make it easiest as possible for you to find my patterns, okay? I want you to watch my YouTube channel and find them really, really easily. And I feel like lately it's just been a struggle for people to even find my YouTube channel. So, my my tutorials. So, anywho. All right, so let's talk about the other things that happened this week. I'm thinking I must have forgot something else, but I'm checking my notes. All right. Now, I did 2 different patterns this week. I'm going to show you this one first. I'm going to lay them out here. And then we'll click over to this other camera. All right, so this is our sweet bow headband. And I really love it because it looks like, you know, a bow. And you can do it plain or you can add, you know, something to it. And it's super duper easy to adjust. Now, if you do the pattern according to as it is written, it'll fit a 22 to 24 inch head. Well, if you're someone who has a really big head, all you have to do is add a row or two. If you're making this for a child, do less rows. And I really love this because when you look at the stitch, it's basically, you know, the shell stitch of 2 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet, but it also resembles a heart a little bit. And that's why I liked it so much. It's so pretty and really stretchy and comfortable. And I was thinking towards spring because it's not a real hot headband, like it won't make you sweat too much, but it's also not super cool either. So it's a good like spring or fall type headband when it's cooler, but it's not real hot. You know what I'm saying? And so this one I left it off, and this one I added, you know, a flower. You could add a heart, you could add a little bow, whatever you want, or leave it off. It'd be fun to put some sparkles on it though, because I love sparkles. But we called this our sweet bow headband, and I love it. Now, I have a pattern coming out on Monday that is using this yarn as well. And this is the yarn I used. It's the Premier Basics Marl. And the color is called Rose Quartz Marl. I said it backwards. Rose Quartz Marl. And it's really fun because it kind of has an ombre effect with that extra gray coming through it. And the pattern that I'm going to be releasing on Monday it's called Love in the Rain. And it's a heart lacy shawl. It's just super pretty. It turned out so beautiful. And everything came back good. And I'm going to get it finished, typed up, and get it ready for you on Monday. Okay? I think you'll really like it. But you can use, of course, any medium weight number 4 yarn. Okay. Now, the other thing that we did was the Monday morning scarf. I absolutely love this scarf. It's gorgeous. Has a beautiful texture. I'm going to show it to you over here. And the reason I did these 2 yarns, let me get back over here, camera, is because this one is an I love this yarn. It's called Morning Star. But it's done similar as this one, because only it has a white, and then it has the ombre effect. And I want to show you in the scarf here how the ombre effect is. It goes from a blue to light green to sort of a teal green, a darker teal, and then into the blue. It's just really beautiful. And also this texture, I'm trying to set it so you can see the texture here, because they're really fun texture. We're doing V stitches and then front and back posts, V stitches, alternating. It's so pretty. And I know you're like, oh, it's got some holes in there, but it's a super warm scarf. It really, really is. And of course, anytime you crochet, you're going to have some holes, and that's okay because you want air to circulate anyway. It keeps you from getting sweaty. But I wanted to show you because this is an I love this yarn, and this is a Premier yarn, and yet they have the same effect. They have a solid in there, and then they have like an ombre in there. And you'll see that ombre in this one on Monday when I do that particular pattern. Okay? So I've been thinking lately a lot about this because you all know I'm not a Premier affiliate anymore. I decided just to let that go because I'm trying to cut back on so many things in my life. And remember, I closed my Etsy shop, so I don't have that anymore. But you can find all of my patterns, of course, here on YouTube. And underneath every one of my videos, you'll find the link that'll take you straight to the blog that has my written pattern. Okay? And then I also have them on Ravelry.com. So it's not like they're not out there anymore. But I wanted to cut back. My throat's getting dry again. Okay. But one thing I noticed, I was walking through Hobby Lobby, and I noticed that there are similar yarns to some of the other companies. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I looked at where they were made, and they were all of these ones that were similar were made in Turkey. So my mind's telling me, they must have the same yarn manufacturer. I can't prove that, of course, and I don't really care one way or the other. I just love yarn. Yes, Ravelry is so much more user-friendly than Etsy. I totally agree with that. When I first started on Etsy 14 or 16 years ago, I can't remember now. I had it written down at one time. Etsy didn't even have the ability to download a pattern. I had to send them from my Ravelry shop through Etsy. Okay? The problem with Etsy is that it's not really for crafters anymore. They say it is, but they have all these huge manufacturer people that sell through there and a lot of antiques, and it's really become just an eBay. And that's okay if that's what they want. I just don't, you know. And they're constantly hounding you about updating this and updating your pictures, and there's constant changes, and and trying to do so many other things, it just became too much. And so I decided that I've been on Ravelry almost since Ravelry's beginning. I sold my first pattern on Ravelry 18 years ago, something like that. It was when I was doing all the dog sweaters and dog hats and dog blankets and dog poofs. And I still love to do a lot of dog things. But that's why I started out as Posh Pooch Designs. Because I was doing all that stuff. And it was mostly around dogs. And then I thought, I've been crocheting everything forever. Let's just go for it. And so I did, and I love it. And I do. I love Ravelry. I think it's super easy friendly, and it's free to get on there. It doesn't cost anything to go and look around. And there are a lot of free patterns on there. I have a lot of free ones also. And so, yes, that's another very good point. You can, if you have it, say I have the, well, I took the label off. Say I have this particular yarn, and I want to see what else is made with this yarn. I bought it on sale. I don't know what to do with it. So you can go in Ravelry and put the name of the yarn, the color, and everything. And you can also go in and look at other people's projects. And it's like a whole thing. It really, really is. And it's super easy to use. Now, they have a lot of groups, and I don't go in those because at times they've been a little too much for me. I'll put it that way. But if you like them, that's totally okay. It's totally okay. It's just for everyone. And I think that they've made it really friendly and easy, and even to put your patterns on there, it's a very simple process. When you go to Etsy, it was such a pain trying to figure it all out, and all this stuff. And then about the time you get it figured out, they changed it, So, yeah. So that's what I recommend. If you're looking for patterns and you don't know what you're looking for and you want to put in a particular yarn, Etsy's the place to go. It really, really is. And I have loved working with them. And it's a whole lot less expensive for a whole lot more when you're selling on Ravelry. So, anywho, yeah, that's the thing. Now, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I do still have plans for our February ornament of the month, and I started working on it last week, and I was cracking myself up. So I think you're really going to enjoy the ornament of the month. Okay, and then I also have our mystery crochet along. I have the tester done. I haven't got it all written out and tested and stuff yet, but it's not the tester, it's the sample done, and it's super cute. I think you're going to like it too. And I really enjoy doing these. It's so much fun. But I do have, some more Valentine and heart type stuff in the next couple of weeks. But then we're going to be switching, and I know it's not spring yet, but we got to start thinking that way, right? Because you have to get things done earlier, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I have a lot of normal things too, things that aren't just holiday, I just really like holidays, and I like designing for the holidays. It's a lot of fun, and it's I don't know, it's just fun. I just enjoy it. As far as the whole process of crocheting, designing is my favorite part. It really, really is. And I've designed a lot of things that you've never seen because they were weird. They just didn't turn out like I thought they would. I'm like, huh. Rip, rip, rip. Those things happen. Yes, springtime is the time when we start having a lot of the markets and the fairs for selling. So if you're someone who likes to sell, yeah, you need to start getting for that as well. I don't do that anymore. I did it a lot years ago, but got a little burnout on that also. It's just when you have to make it and you don't get to enjoy making it because you're having to make the same thing over and over again, it kind of loses some of it for me. And that's okay. It's okay. We're all a different place. And that's why I say we're all a different place in our crochet journey and what we're doing. Just because I'm doing this doesn't mean everybody's going to like that. And just because you're doing that, because we all have different likes and colors and things that we enjoy. I will tell you, I have, in the process of cleaning out my yarn room, I have found a lot of really interesting things that I totally forgot that I had. And I have this bag over here. I showed you those 2 blankets last week. I did finish one of them. So that one will be coming out soon. But I have this bag over here and I keep trying to go through it and I get stuck because I'm looking at all the neat things that I started and I'm like, wow, I need to finish that. That's so cool. Why did you not finish that? And I think in the process of moving from Colorado into a rental for a while until our house was finished being built, and then moving in here, a lot of it got lost in the moves, And so I have this pile over here, and eventually I'm going to get through it. Because I have a lot of really neat patterns down there, and a lot of really neat things that I've been working on. And then, of course, another thing also is if I was working on something that was summer, I don't want to release it in the winter, things like that as well. And then it got on the bottom, and then a couple of winters went by, or a couple of summers. And so those things happen. All right? All righty. So, I know what the last thing I'm going to tell you is when you did the walkthrough through my yarn room, and I really appreciate all the nice comments that y'all made about it. If you'd have seen it before I finished, you probably would have been so embarrassed for me, But concerning the curtains that I put on my closet, I've had so many people message me and email me. I am going to do a tutorial for it. I've got to write it all down because I winged it. All I did really was measure and wing. And so I'm going to show you how to do it. But I want to do it in such a way that you can measure and make it fit any window. Because this closet is really long. And I dare say, unless you have the same closet, that you're going to need a curtain that's that exact size. Guess what I'm saying. All right. And so I have that on the plans. And the truth of the matter is, it's really simple. And I think you'll really enjoy making it because when I was making it, and it worked up really fast. I did all 3 of those panels because I wanted 3 of them so that I could, get underneath and stuff. And if I want to, I can put a ribbon on it and tie it out of the way. But I think you'll really enjoy it. And if you have a yarn room or you just want something fun and, funky, it'll look really cute anywhere, really. You could match it to your bedroom. You could, if you made a bedspread in a room or a comforter or something that in crochet, then you could match your curtains, and so this is a really easy project, and I'll probably do it on a Friday fun day because it will be a really quick project because I won't do a whole curtain because it's really just once you get going a repeat. But I really want you to understand how to measure it, how to, and all of that stuff, the multiples and things like that. Because that's mostly the way it will be done. But I think you'll really enjoy it. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see what you come up with. And one thing to keep in mind that you'll learn the stitch when I do the tutorial. But one thing that I learned when I did mine is when you use that much yarn, even though they're open lacy stitches, mesh stitches and a lot of it, they get heavy. And they stretched, and now they're laying on the carpet, which I don't really care because I just kind of flipped it under. But that's another thing to keep in mind. You want it to fit, but then even though the rod is straight across, yarn is stretchy. So we have to keep that in mind as well. And the truth is, if you're doing it for a kitchen, you could do it in cotton. Or even a bedroom, you could do it in cotton yarn. It wouldn't stretch quite as much. But we'll get into all of that when I do the video. And it's probably about, I don't know. I might be 2 weeks. I can't remember what I put in my plan book. But anyway, I did want, a lot of people have been asking me about it. So I did want to tell you it's in the works. Okay? And the curtain that I have on my little window is actually a shawl. And I'll find that shawl. It's called the beaded Aurora shawl. And that's because it's got beads on the ends. And it looks so pretty because it's pretty much just a V-stitch wrap. And then on the ends, we did little rows with beads on it. And it looks so pretty. And I'll let me write this down. Because it's a beaded Aurora. Because the yarn I used is called Aurora, like the Aurora Borealis. And it's just a medium 4-weight. And I'll find that and see if I can add that to this. I'll put that underneath this link if you want it. Underneath this video, and I'll link it just in case. I always link the patterns that I talk about on the video underneath so that you can go and look at them. I also have linked the playlist for the Valentine's Day stuff, but I'll find this and I'll hook that under there also, because I always go in and check my links before I repost the video on YouTube. Okay, but it's so pretty. It turned out so pretty. But if you want to know what the curtains look like I said, go to the video. It's called I decluttered my yarn room, I think is what it's called. And it's right on my YouTube channel. So anyway, and I show the curtains in there in the walkthrough. Both the curtains in the closet and the curtains on the window. Because I love being able to make things that you least expect that you would make things out of yarn. I do. I mean, who thinks to make curtains out of crochet, out of crochet and out of yarn? And I love them. They turned out great. And so I think that's kind of fun when you do that. Another person mentioned that I don't have any, in the walkthrough, I don't have any shelving behind. And that's because I don't want it there. Because I don't want to have to get up behind there and mess with stuff up there. I just really like that one white wall. It's kind of like my calming wall. But when you see it, I have my big lights up there and everything. And when you see it, you'll think that is a big white wall, because I have really tall ceilings. And so anyway, I do have a question for you. My husband put in a fan in the ceiling. Do you hear that fan during this video? Because it's very quiet and it gives me so much, it moves the air and I love it. But if it's, I left it on today because I forgot I was going to ask you this, because I want to know if you can hear the fan turning, if it's annoying. If it is, I won't do it again. But I love having the fan moving. I love the air moving because I shut the door not to bother my husband because he's in his office doing music, So anywho, nobody hears it. Good. That's good. It's a beautiful fan. I show you that in the video also. But anyway, we're after 11. I try to keep it right around 30 minutes to 40 minutes. So we're right on that. So anyway, remember, go over to the Crafty Sue's crochet channel. Her link is underneath here. Show her some Crochet Love and tell her I sent you. And then remember, you can always find... I'm starting to get a dry voice. You can always find the patterns that I talk about, the video link underneath the live video. Every week I post them under there. Just go down to that description box and scroll down and it'll be there. Okay? Alrighty. On that note, I'm going to get some more to drink because my throat is dry. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.